of October 2019. I am Dan Kuntz, your host. Welcome to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Barely making it on the air here on this Monday. Megan's going to come into the studio and fix our camera here. Hi, Megan. Wave to the people. There we go. Ta-da. Last second adjustments to a few things that we weren't expecting. This is the perils of live television. We work without a net here, oftentimes on the NCW Live channel. In any event, hope you had a great weekend. We got a busy week for you, a busy show for you, and a weather forecast that is dramatic. Big changes coming our way. I hope you had a chance to enjoy the weekend because things are going to go way on the other side. It's going to feel very autumnal-like. It felt autumnal-like over the weekend, but I mean, we got some big changes coming. It's going to get windy. It's going to get cold. Forecast details are coming up. Plus, we have your Monday morning news. Lots of sports to get to. We had a good time in Cashmere on Friday night to cover the Omak Pioneers and the Cashmere Bulldogs. Omak took it to them early, but the Bulldogs came back and went down to the last minute of the game. We got highlights from that broadcast. It was good to go up to Cashmere and broadcast that game. We had a good time. Lots of sports to get to. Lots of sports to get to. That's usually the case on Monday. Plus, we'll have Mike McNulty's opinion, the obscure holiday. Let's see, today in history, we got some celebrity birthdays coming your way. And in the second half of the program, we went down to the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center on Friday, and we visited with Kristin Lodge because the big My Sky exhibit is now here, and it's going to be here until early January of next year, but you don't want to sit on your thumbs and wait to go see the My Sky exhibit. It's perfect for kids. It's a hands-on experience to learn about our solar system and our sky. It's a fascinating tour that we took with our cameras. We did that on Friday, and we'll show that to you as I go around with Kristin Lodge. And we went through the Sky-Fi exhibit at the Wenatchee Valley Museum. We did that on Friday. We'll show it to you in the back half of the hour. Whew. I think we're ready. Ready or not, we're going forward. It's a couple minutes after the hour. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras. And we say good morning, of course, to the Wenatchee Valley proper. Sun is not yet officially up yet. The sun does not come up until 7:08 this morning, so it's got another 4 minutes before it finally creeps over the East Wenatchee bench. The sun will go down tonight at 6:29. That gives us 11 hours and 21 minutes of daylight. We lose about 15 minutes of daylight each week until we get to the winter solstice coming up in late December, so be heads up on that. And again, things are going to change big time weather-wise. A big, strong cold front coming down from the Gulf of Alaska. Alaska is going to sweep into our area. There's going to be some snow in the upper elevations, and it's going to be windy. Wind chills are going to get down there. So, by the way, Saturday's high was 64. Sunday's high was 61. Both of those temperatures were below normal, so we've now had 10 consecutive days with our high temperature below normal. But that streak should end today. Forecast details are coming up. Where are we off to, Megan? It is a slow dissolve on our PTZ camera to, that's Bear Mountain. Is that Bear Mountain? It's Bear Mountain. Hello, Bear Mountain. The Bear Mountain Golf Course, of course, looking out over Wapato Point and that one narrow little spot at Lake Chelan where you have to be real careful with all that boat traffic that has to cram themselves through that little bitty inlet, and then, of course, it widens right back out again. That's looking up towards Lake Chelan. Beautiful view there. Have not played Bear Mountain Golf Course yet this year, and that's my bad. Vaughn, I'll be up to see you, I promise you. What I should do when I play Bear Mountain is just play the first 17 holes because the 18th hole just crushes me up at Bear Mountain. Good morning, Manson. Good morning, Wapato Point. Good morning, Chelan. Good to see you here on this Monday. Camera number 3. Hello and good morning to, oh boy, is that Steins? Yep, that is. That's the monitor camera. I'm sorry. Thank you, Megan, the monitor camera. I get confused on those cameras because, well, first of all, you can usually pick out the monitor camera because you can see downtown Monitor. You can see the Monitor Hilton, the Monitor Dome, the Monitor Convention Center. So that's why it kind of messed me up a little bit. So there you go. High clouds, pinkish, purplish clouds, looking good. Thank you very much, Kat. Thank you very much. Looking good there. Monitor, good to have you. Camera number 4. Where are we off to? Omi Gardens. Wow, wow, wow. I have no words to say for that. When you have the high clouds and the sun coming up, that is just stunning. Just stunning. And we're going to have views like this, of course, for another week or so. And then eventually it's going to be dark for a good portion of this show. Omi Gardens, by the way, just has about 10 more days to go. I think they close, I want to say like the 16th. I'm spitballing here, but I want to say they close right around the 16th or so for Omi Gardens, so you're running out of time to pay them a visit. Beautiful, stunning views this morning, especially that view from our Omi Gardens camera. Thank you, Megan. Good work, considering we're scrambling to get a show on the air today on this Monday. All right, 6 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. We got a forecast and some slides to show for you. Not a lot to talk about today. Today's going to be kind of just there. We're going to be cloudy. We'll top off about 67, which is just about normal. It should break our streak of high temperatures below normal. We've 10 consecutive days now with our afternoon high temperature not getting to where it's supposed to be. That should end today. That 67 is just about normal for this time of year. Light wind today, and then things are going to really change. Big swing coming our way. Look at your wind gust potential for later on this afternoon through the early hours of the morning. We have no real wind right now, but as the day progresses, the winds are going to start picking up. A big, strong cold front sweeps through the region, and a deep upper level trough will follow that, which means very windy conditions, and the temperature is going to go way down. Winds tonight, normally, of course, when the sun goes down, the winds die down. It's not going to happen tonight. The winds are going to be picking up as the afternoon goes on and right into the evening hours. We could have winds 21 to 26 miles an hour after midnight. In the wee small hours of the morning, 37, 38 mile an hour gusts. That's pretty darn windy. So that's your wind gust potential for this afternoon all the way through tonight into early tomorrow morning. Wind gusts on Tuesday, not quite as bad, but still windy on Tuesday. Also, we're going to cloud up quite a bit. So we still have some residual winds. This is, again, this upper level trough is following the cold front. So it's basically back-to-back systems that are packing a pretty good punch. So that's your wind gust potential for tomorrow. And then Tuesday night into Wednesday, you combine the strong winds and the cold temperatures, and the wind chills are going to get way down there. Take a look at where you live. The wind chills, the combination of strong winds and cold temperatures. Wind chills Tuesday night into Wednesday are going to be very, very chilly. In fact, Wednesday night's overnight low for the Wenatchee Valley could get below freezing. I kid you not. So for today, again, a continuation of what we've had, really. It's just quite a bit of cloud cover, that's all. We're not going to see a lot of sunshine. And then in comes this cold front, comes in tonight, going to cloud us up, going to make us windy. And then the clouds will be blowing out of here. So a mixture of clouds and sun on Tuesday, but we're going to go from 67 today for afternoon high to only 54 on Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll be lucky to get to 50. Look at Wednesday night's overnight low, 31. I told you there were some big changes coming, and even though we'll have some sunshine, we'll have temperatures getting way, way down there. So mostly cloudy, an isolated shower possible today. As we get deeper and deeper into Monday, the winds will be picking up. Very windy tonight into Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday, we'll be lucky to get to 54 or 55 with fairly cloudy skies and, again, some wind. Tuesday night, as the clouds clear out, we're going to get chilly, 33 for the overnight low, wind chills right around there as well. Below freezing. First time we've been below freezing. Look at that forecast low Wednesday night into Thursday. Chilly indeed. Be prepared. Big change in the weather forecast is coming our way. That's a look at your forecast at 9 minutes after the hour on this Monday. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have your news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
My first experience with CVCH, I had to come in with my daughter by myself with a cut in my hand that required stitches. And the care and compassion at CVCH was really significant, that they took the care and compassion and made me feel more as a human instead of just a patient there. The care they have for their community all around, inside and outside the clinic, is what I feel like is different. And that's what makes me want to come back to CVCH and recommend them to my friends and family.
Hi, my name is Jim Heinlein, independent agent and owner at Springwater Insurance Group, formerly known as Senior Insurance Services. And we recently decided to make that name change because we're offering so many different other types of insurances in addition to Medicare education and enrollment, like we've been doing for 15 years. So if you have questions about Medicare or any other forms of insurances, give us a call at Springwater Insurance Group, 888-2600, or visit us at any of our 5 locations.
And we are back at 10:30 at 10 minutes after. It's Monday. It's 10 minutes after the hour on this Monday, the 7th day of October 2019. Here's what's making headlines on this Monday. 2 Grant County men are charged with carrying out a series of thefts and burglaries last month in the Chelan area. Travis Hintz and Nicholas Anardi of Moses Lake were arrested September 25th during a traffic stop. The 2 men are suspected in several thefts and car prowls reported in the 2 days prior. Now, deputies said some of the stolen property was found in their car during the stop. Hintz and Anardi face charges including burglary, vehicle prowl, possessing stolen property, and some of the stolen items have already been returned to their owners. Well, Chelan County Commissioners, they say they expect more belt tightening in 2020. Our very own senior news correspondent Steve Hare met with the commissioners as they prepared to set next year's operating budget.
They are expecting another austere year in terms of spending. Commissioners told me earlier this week that they expect to start next year with a budget shortfall similar to this year.
We may, no different than last year, start off with a gap. Of course, the asks, every year, increase, and revenues don't necessarily increase every year. And so we'll take a look at what our gap is and try to work through that like we did last year. And we started off last year with a $3 million gap, and we're able to bring it back to a balance. We'll have our challenges, again this year, but I think, by the end of the day, we'll get to her.
And I guess I can ask you, Steve, if you would be willing to go into a business that you're restricted to only increase your revenue 1% and your costs are going up 3%. That is something that makes it very difficult. And so we have to be creative about it. We have to a partnership with the state to quit asking us to do things and then not sending the money for it. A lot of those kinds of issues that we have to address.
Now, the county derives most of its income from property taxes, but current state law prevents local government from increasing property taxes by more than 1% a year without a public vote. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you for that report, Steve. Communities in north central Washington, including Omak, Okanagan, and Bridgeport, got some really good news this week. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in community development block grants. The town of Okanagan, they have $24,000 to study improvements to its levees to protect against flooding, like the flooding you see here. Bridgeport, they get more than $275,000 to spend on fire protection equipment and a downtown revitalization plan, and $458,000 to OMAC to upgrade their stormwater system. Overall, about $10.5 million from the federal grant program was distributed last week to 25 rural communities statewide. There's a welcome new addition to the Pybus Public Market Plaza. It's called River Dance, a depiction of leaping salmon by William Reese, the late artist from Kashmir. Reese passed away 9 years ago after a lifetime creating bronzes and paintings. In his Wenatchee Valley studio, his widow Fran spoke at the dedication on Wednesday as part of the Taste of Pybus fundraiser for the market's nonprofit foundation. Another version of River Dance also sits in the front plaza of the Kashmir Museum and Pioneer Village. And that's a look at what's making headlines at 14 minutes after the hour. 43 degrees with a few high clouds. Just a gorgeous sunrise going on today. Pretty quiet day, benign. Some clouds, about 66, 67. Not a lot happening until we get to the afternoon hours. Big wind coming in. Big system coming down from the Gulf of Alaska is going to make things very windy and then very, very cold on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. It's been a chilly October. No question about that. Grant Olson has one more day off. He'll be back tomorrow, so you get Jefferson Robbins handling the news tonight, Eric Granstrom with the weather and sports, and we'll have it for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5, 6, and 10, your 3 chances to check out the news on this Monday. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website at ncwlife.com, ncwlife.com. Click on the Watch Now icon. We stream 24/7, so whatever we're broadcasting right now or at any time on television, you can watch it on your smart device, whatever it may be, or you can watch any of our shows, including the news and including this show, on demand, just by going to our website. You can also get a hold of us on our website, or you can drop us a note via our Facebook page or that email address you see right there, news@ncwlife.com. This is as much your station as it is ours, and sometimes I wish it was your station and not ours. 16 minutes after the hour, sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 3 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
Are you like many who are lacking in their retirement plan but are skeptical to talk to an advisor? Are you concerned about where you should put your money or who to trust? At Solomon Financial, we are more about the people we serve than policies or products. We are a fee-based fiduciary with the mission of giving you the peace of mind so you can live the retirement of your dreams. If you have any of these questions or concerns, we'd welcome you to come see us.
Manny Sanchez here from Town Nissan. It's car buying season, and as we close out our 2019 model year, I want to show you how affordable it is to buy a new Nissan car or SUV. The Rogue is one of the best-selling SUVs in the country. You can own one for just $22,999, or this 2019 Nissan Altima also for $22,999. And finally, this great deal on this 2019 Sentra for $17,999. Come on down and save on the last of the 2019 models before they're gone. It's all at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee.
And we are back at 17 minutes after the hour, the ever-widening world of sports. We'll start out with baseball. Major League Baseball's postseason continued. High drama in St. Louis yesterday. The Atlanta Braves rallied for 3 runs in the top of the 9th inning, and they beat the Cardinals. The final was 3-1. They were trailing 1-0. They were down to their very last out. And then Dansby Swanson doubled in Billy Hamilton. That tied it at 1. And then Adam Duvall followed with a 2-run double. The Braves lead that series now 2-1. No drama in Washington. The Dodgers took a 2-1 series lead over the Nationals with Sunday's 10-4 win. Justin Turner led the way at the plate. He went 3 for 6 with a 3-run home run. David Freese was 3 for 3 with a couple of runs. So all 4 division series could end today. It's a possibility. First, Houston goes for the sweep. They'll be in Tampa Bay. It's a 10:05 first pitch this morning. You can watch that on the MLB network. At 12:07 this afternoon, Atlanta will try and shut down the Cardinals on TBS. Washington will try to stave off elimination in Game 4 of their series today, 3:40 on TBS. And finally, at 5:40 tonight on FS1, the Yankees will try and sweep aside the Twins at Target Field. Back to Friday, to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard we go. And how the teams do under the lights? Well, in a game that you saw right here, Omak held on to beat Kashmir 44-36. The Pioneers raced out to a 30-14 halftime lead. So the highlights that we're going to have for you, we're going to pick it up at the start of the third quarter. Eric Grandstrom and Grant Olson had the call of a very exciting game right here on the NCW Life channel.
Kashmir trying to change the momentum here, and they'll turn and fake the handoff, and now Phillips going to try to dance for the corner of the end zone. He dives, and he is in. Touchdown, Kashmir. What an answer here for the second half, and one of the Pioneers, I think, is out at the goal line after trying to make that tackle. And that is Hall, I believe. No, not Hall. On the field, slow to get up, is Joseph Avina. Snap is back. Fake the handoff, throws towards the end zone. A receiver, we got a flag down.
Touchdown.
He caught the ball in the end zone. It is Riley Davis on the touchdown, but we'll see about that with a flag that came down on the pass pattern.
Might be offensive.
Could be offensive. Here's the signal. No, pass interference against the defense. Touchdown will stand. 24 yards on the pass play from Black to Davis, and now the extra point. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. 38-22 our score. Phillips going to take it again. Big push up front. Does he get in? He does. Touchdown, Kashmir. Phillips, second time, he takes it on a quarterback keeper. Into the end zone. Again, Aaron Black waiting for the pass from center. Here comes Kashmir cheating in. Black's going to go option right again. He just did it for a touchdown. He might do it again. He pitches it back to Hall. Hall at the 5, at the 2, into the end zone. Touchdown. What a play by Omak. They ran the same play, had the pitch relation to Hall. This time Black pitches it back, and it's in for a touchdown from 37 yards out.
Just like that. What a heads-up play by Black, the 170-pound senior. That's experience right there. The same play that they ran, they got the penalties on previously. And boy, great blocking again and a heads-up play by the quarterback, Aaron Black.
It's on a 15-yard penalty. Nonetheless, here comes Phillips. Throws down the flat. The ball is intercepted in the end zone. And that will be the game right there as Joseph Avina comes up with the interception on a pass that was overthrown in the end zone for Kashmir. And the Pioneers, despite 200 yards and penalties here tonight, will escape with a victory.
Wow, escape is right when it looks like they were kind of dominating this game. Kashmir did not give up, never gave up, and this will end with Kashmir throwing that interception. What a game, and what a second half.
It was a great game, and it was a great second half. Let's check the rest of the Caribou Trail League scorers while we're at it. Okanagan got by Chelan 20-17. And congratulations to the Kodiaks. Cascade won their homecoming game over Cheney 21-14. In the Columbia Basin Big Nine, Nate Blauman had 229 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wenatchee all over Moses Lake 42-13. The Panther defense forcing 6 Chief turnovers, and Carson Everhart scored twice on the ground. Austin Popoff added another, took 2 overtimes, but Eastmont remains unbeaten. They beat West Valley 23-20. In the CWAC on Friday, Othello beat Ephrata 27-8. Quincy was a winner over Wapato. The final there was 34-0. Central Washington B-League football, Brewster over Manson 35-21. Orville topped Northwest Christian 13-11. Elmira, Cooley, Heartline, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young no trouble with Antioch winning 74-36. Coming up this Friday under the lights right here on the NCW Life Channel, back at Wildcat Stadium for the Eastmont Wildcats and the Davis Pirates is Eastmont's homecoming game. They try to remain undefeated on the season against an upstart Pirate team that's 3-2 so far. Eric Granstrom and Grant Olson, play-by-play, pregame 6:45, kickoff 7 o'clock right here on the NCW Life Channel. Not a good weekend, by the way, for the local college football teams. The number 15 Washington Huskies laid a big fat egg down on the farm. They lost to unranked Stanford 23-13. Cameron Scarlett rushing for 151 yards and a touchdown. Davis Mills threw for nearly 300 yards in the score to lead the Cardinal to the victory. Washington was held to just 88 rushing yards in the game. Sacramento State's Kevin Thompson threw for 3 touchdowns, ran for 2 others. The Hornets beat Eastern Washington 48-27. This despite 309 yards passing and 103 yards rushing by Eric Barrier. And West Texas A&M ran out to a 34-10 halftime lead. Cruised past Central Washington 48-41. The Wildcats made it closer. They scored 16 points in the final 3 minutes. To the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from Saturday, we'll start out with soccer. To the pitch we go. Wenatchee beat Eisenhower in girls Big Nine soccer 3-1. Moses Lake shut out Davis 1-0. Cascade clobbered Kiona Benton 11-0. Omak set out Manson 6-0. Quincy doubled up East Valley of Yakima 4-2. And Ephrata kept on rolling with a 5-0 win over Wapato. In prep volleyball Saturday, Wenatchee swept 3 games from Central Valley. Waterville Mansfield won 3-0 over Bridgeport. Manson swept 3 from Wilson Creek. Cross country, the Cascade boys were victorious in their own invitational on Saturday. Eastmont was 3rd. The Eastmont girls won the Leavenworth invite, by the way. Kashmir finished 3rd. In Yakima, Kamaikan swept the boys and the girls' sides at the Sun Fair Invitational. The Wenatchee boys were 5th, and the Wenatchee girls were 2nd. And here's what we have on the sports schedule for the week. Tomorrow, volleyball. The Eastmont Wildcats return home from Phoenix, and the Nike Tournament of Champions will host Moses Lake at 7. And then a hockey night Thursday features the Wenatchee Wild and the Merritt Centennials. And as we mentioned, we'll help Eastmont celebrate homecoming. Friday night lights, Wildcats in Davis, live right here at 7 o'clock on Friday. Speaking of the Wenatchee Wild, they dropped 2 heartbreakers over the weekend at the BCHL Showcase in Penticton. Wenatchee got goals from Luke Ormsby and Harrison Scott. That was on Friday, but they lost to Salmon Arm 3-2. On Saturday, Nick Caffarelli, Quinn Emerson, and Matt Dorsey did what they could do to put the Wild back on the winning track, but Penticton would have none of it. The V's won 5-3. Penticton, by the way, has won 10 games in a row. The Wild return home Friday and Saturday. They host the West Kelowna Warriors at the Town Toyota Center. Both games start at 7:05. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Monday, 25 minutes after the hour. I had 4 holidays to choose from for the obscure holiday. Today is National Frappe Day. Today is National Inner Beauty Day. Today is National Consignment Day. But I'm going to go with the light emitting diode. Today is National LED Day because it was 5 years ago on this very day that a couple of Japanese-American electronics engineers received the Nobel Prize in Physics for the development of the light emitting diode. the LED, which was first developed in the 1960s. It was the first thing that you saw when you got your Texas Instrument electronic calculator. Back in the 1970s, it was LEDs that you saw. Now, of course, LEDs were terribly expensive back then, but they got better and better and cheaper and cheaper and better and better and cheaper and cheaper. Of course, LEDs now are the way to light just about everything. They cost almost nothing. They last forever. If it wasn't for LEDs, we wouldn't have, Blu-ray players, for instance. Happy National LED Light Day today. All of my lights in my house are all LED. It's the way to go. Yeah, it's a little bit more money up front, but they last forever. Happy LED Day. All the lights in our studios are all LED lights. Thank you very much. Let's do Today in History at 26 minutes after the hour. This is not a mistake, the score that you see here. It's one of the legendary college football games at all time. There it is. Georgia Tech defeated Cumberland University. The final was 222-0, the most lopsided college football game in American history. It wasn't even supposed to play. Cumberland had disbanded their football team before the school year started, but they were contractually obligated to play Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech wouldn't let them out of the contract. So they had to play. Some interesting statistics. Cumberland rushed 27 times for minus 47 yards. They lost 9 fumbles. Cumberland passed 18 times. They completed 2 of those for 14 yards, and 6 of them were intercepted by Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech rushed for 26 times for 522 yards, 18 touchdowns. They didn't even try to throw a pass. 222-0. The final. By the way, the head coach of Georgia Tech, John Heisman, the man who they named the trophy after. Speaking of sports, roll tape, Megan, and I'll have to explain to you what you're about ready to see. First of all, it's the ninth race at Belmont Park in New York City, October 7th, 1991, 28 years ago today. Do we have that ready to go, Megan? Go ahead and roll it, Megan. And I'll just tell you.
They've gone the first quarter 22-3, midway round the turn. Freeway battle on the front end. Space appeal from between horses, short lead. Then it's Frank Clark back in third.
We have Cafe Lex. We have Space Appeal. There we go. Cafe Lex, Space Appeal. Scorecard Harry is in this race. Again, this is the 9th race at Belmont Park, just outside of New York, 28 years ago today. So Scorecard Harry, Space Appeal, and Cafe Lex, they're running neck and neck and neck as they make the turn, and they head on down to the final stretch. Again, Cafe Lex, Space Appeal, Scorecard Harry, they're going at it pretty good. Cafe Lex will make a big run here from the outside. Very exciting race. Space Appeal, Scorecard Harry, Cafe Lex, Scorecard Harry, Space Appeal, Cafe Lex, Space Appeal, Scorecard Harry, and the winner is, well, here they go. Cafe Lex and Space Appeal and Scorecard Harry will have to go to the photo finish, and the winner is, it's all of them. Triple dead heat. Scorecard Harry, Space Appeal, Cafe Lex finishes first. One of the rarest things that can ever happen in sports. It happened at Belmont Park on this day 28 years ago today. This is the end of the Great Flood of 1993, October 7th, 1993. After 103 consecutive days of the Mississippi and Missouri rivers being above flood level, it finally ended in St. Louis when the Mississippi River fell below flood stage. 100,000 homes were destroyed, damages estimated at $20 billion, the most costliest flood in American history. Can you imagine a flood that lasted 103 days? It ended on this date 26 years ago. It's still known in the Midwest, from Minneapolis all the way down to St. Louis, as the Great Flood of 1993. Remarkable there. And this is the 18th anniversary of the longest war in American history. Longest war in American history begins the Afghan War, the air assault and covert operations in Afghanistan. Again, it is the longest war this country has ever fought. It's still referred to as the International War on Terror. It's 18 years old today. There is no end in sight, but it began on this date back in 2001. Birthdays on this Monday. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. Joe Hill, the labor activist, he was made a martyr by the state of Utah when he was executed in 1915 at the age of 36 for a crime, a murder that many people, most experts agree that he never actually committed. He was best known as a labor organizer and a labor agitator and a songwriter. His name is still brought up in the labor movement today. Joe Hill, born in Sweden, emigrated to America, learned to teach himself English. Executed at the age of 36 in 1915, but he is still thought of today. Joe Hill was born in the state in 1879. Vladimir Putin is 67 years old today. There he is, of course. He is the president of Russia. He's been the president of Russia since 2012. He was also the president of Russia from 2000 to 2008. Then he was prime minister for 4 years, but he was calling the shots. And then he was elected again to the presidency. So basically, he's been running Russia pretty much as a dictatorship for the last 19 years, and he's been elected to serve until 2024. And when you see Vladimir Putin and sitting down with the head of state and they have the two chairs and the translator between them to translate, don't be fooled, because Vladimir Putin is, as you might imagine, fluent in Russian, but he's also fluent in Swedish, he speaks German, and he's fluent in English. Vladimir Putin is 67 years old today. And Toni Braxton, who had a great career as a singer and songwriter, and now, of course, she's a reality TV star, which is what happens when your musical career dries up. They just make you a reality TV star. Toni Braxton is 52 years old today. I guess my reality show is on the way. Going to take a break. When we come back, everybody's entitled to my Magnani's opinion. And then last Friday, Megan and I had a chance to go down and visit with Kristin Lodge at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. We toured the My Sky exhibit. We're going to give you a sneak preview of the exhibit that's going on right now. It's great for the kids, educational and entertaining. If it was educational and entertaining for me, you can imagine what it might do for kids. That conversation when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
My awesome is being able to share my passion for yoga. I found yoga in my mid-40s to help me kind of de-stress and calm down, and it actually changed my life. Washington Trust believed in me. I felt like, okay, they got my back. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna go for it. It actually makes you feel like more brave. I do have a lot of awesome in my life.
What's your awesome? Whatever it is, we'll help you get there.
They may not be from you, but they're a part of your family. For many reasons, not all children are being raised by their parents. Are you a family member who has stepped in to help raise grandchildren, nieces, or nephews? Whether court-ordered or not, Aging and Adult Care may be able to assist you with many needs. Kinship Care helps keep family and community ties together. Learn more about Kinship Care by contacting Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington, working together for a better quality of life for all.
Campfire North Central Washington, serving youth ages 3 to 18. Register today in one of Campfire's programs. Club members meet regularly with volunteer leaders to learn responsibility, sharing, cooperation, and citizenship. When a child is involved in Campfire, they will be actively learning and engaged in activities, encouraged to learn new skills, feel a part of the group, learn to work in a team setting, participate in planning, goal setting, and making lasting memories.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnani, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, retail businesses, if you're not doing too well, here's a tip. I believe the concept of retail is that a business wants people to come into said business and exchange their money that they have in their pockets for the merchandise the business has on its shelves. Okay, fine. But there's an important part. This exchange occurs at something called a checkout stand or a cash register. Now, this is the point, right? A customer takes your stuff and gives you money. Now, wouldn't it therefore make a whole lot of sense to actually have sufficient people, sufficient number of employees at this place where this exchange is supposed to take place so the potential transactions can actually occur? Doesn't that make sense? Don't you wish that these transactions could occur within a reasonable period of time? I mean, come on, in my limited perspective, that's what I think is a good idea. Now maybe consider it. Have people at your check stands. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
How much are you paying for adult, family, or assisted living? Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living offers one-bedroom apartments for one affordable price. Their rates are all-inclusive, no nickel or diming or sudden increases, just one set price. You or your loved one will receive good food and excellent care in a relaxed, home-like environment. Stop on by for a tour to see if the Epladolin family is the right choice for you.
Family owned and operated Epladolin Retirement and Assisted Living in Kashmir. Affordable care.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We're here at the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center, and I am Dan Kuntz. You know that already. Kristin Lodge is to my immediate left. No stranger to the program. Ashley Sinner normally joins us, but is she like off today, or where's she at?
She is. She has a well-deserved day at home with her kids.
Yeah. Good for her. We're not here just to goof off, but we are going to do some goofing off. It's a brand new exhibit. It opened on Friday the 3rd on Thursday the 3rd for museum members only. But you're going to have lots of time. You got till January 2020 to check out this really cool exhibition. It's called My Sky, and Kristin, the genesis of this expedition.
Yes.
What are we here for?
So the My Sky exhibit is at a Boston Children's Museum. It was created in partnership with the Smithsonian and NASA, and the entire focus of the exhibit is getting families and children's hands-on interactive science. It's to get them to wonder about the world around them.
And it worked for me, and I'm not a kid anymore, but we did a little pre-tour before we started rolling tape. You told me it went very well last night with all the kids running around. They were having a good time.
We were so excited to welcome our members in. We had tons of people come in, young families, grandparents with kids. We had adults and individuals. Everyone was climbing and playing and wondering and having fun. It was great.
And it's funny because you think about museums, it's like, don't run around, don't touch things, and old valuable stuff, you may break stuff.
And I was out there saying, go for it, have fun.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. This is absolutely hands-on.
Absolutely hands-on. Yep, interactive, lots of fun.
And this, again, it comes from our friends at the Smithsonian, is that right? And our friends from Boston.
This exhibit is out of Boston Children's Museum. Yes, the friends at Smithsonian and NASA helped design it.
And so this probably took quite some time to put up, right?
It did. We got it off trucks on Friday afternoon. We had our staff leading and lots of volunteer hands coming and helping. We got all the physical structures up and then wired up all the electronics. It's been a really fun process to watch. There were a few gray hairs that grew in and a few, beads of sweat, but we got it up. We're so excited to share it.
And again, this is for kids of all ages, and I mean that.
That's right.
Literally and figuratively, because your husband was having way too much fun with some of these things, wasn't he?
That's right. He absolutely was. Yeah, fun for adults and kids alike.
So we're going to take a walking tour, and again, this is a hands-on exhibit, so it's not really you go from point A to point B to point C. You can go wherever you want, whenever you want during the exhibition.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing that you really like, you can spend all the time in the world there doing that. Where are we going to go, and where do we want to begin?
So we've got 4 main areas in the exhibit that we can show you. We've got a skate park that talks about the phases of the sun. You use your body as a sundial. We've got a backyard. You can look at phases, a 24-hour phase of the sun and the moon, and identify kind of characteristics and features in the sky. We've got a moon dome where we can go in and see a 5-foot scale of the moon, real craters, real valleys, real topographical map of the moon. And then we've got a child's room, so we can go in, we can play and make our own constellations. We can explore the phases of the moon and sun in a hands-on kind of dial and really just have a good time.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Before we get started,
Okay, go ahead.
can I please thank our donors?
If you don't, I'll be disappointed in you, Kristin.
So this featured exhibit, the museum loves bringing new and featured exhibits and new content to the Valley. This one took a very special effort and a very special lift in its funding. So we reached out to our members and we reached out to the community, we reached out to community businesses, and we were just met with overwhelming support. So we had over 150 donors that joined us as a part of this effort. And I'd like to take just a moment to thank our gold and silver sponsors, who were, we had Wells Fargo and Microsoft. We had an anonymous donor, that's at the $5,000 level. At the $1,000 level, we had iFiber Communications, iFiber One, Alcoa Solar Fund, Ford and Marlis Barrett, Computech, Chelan Douglas County Retired School Employees, McDougall and Sons, Confluence Health, Goodfellow Brothers, Home Chick Smith, Peggy Ludwig, Molina Healthcare, and Kevin and Jane Vituli on behalf of the Nicholas H. Vituli Memorial Fund.
And there's a whole bunch of names that you can't read that gave $100 or $200 or
That's right.
$300. So.
We've got a donor recognition sign, and we would just love it if you would come in, take a look. Please thank those members of the community for help making this possible.
I'm ready. I'm excited. You
Great,
ready to do this?
let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's
start
come
with
on
the skate
in.
park.
Join us.
Woohoo. Start here?
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so in the skate park, let's see.
Come on in, Kristin.
Great, we're coming in. So in the skate park, we're looking up. We are seeing the sun, and we're using our shadow to gauge the phases of the sun as it travels through the sky. So if we jump up here on this skateboard, we're looking at how our shadow traverses over the land. This is meant to be entirely hands-on. Little kids were climbing and sliding down it. Kids were bouncing off the walls. This is a really fun place to explore. Dan, you want to give it a try?
Yeah, I'll give
Let's
it a
see your
try.
skate skills. What you got here?
It's been a few years. So.
Look at you looking good.
Oh, wow.
Ride it.
I can see exactly, so the sky is up here. And
Sky's up here. You can use your body and your shadow here as a sundial and watch as it changes throughout the day.
that is cool.
Very cool.
That is cool.
So another way to watch the sun is to come on over here and see these real NASA satellite images of the sun. And if you look closely, you can see different changes throughout the day. You can look at a coronal ejection of the sun. Basically, we're looking at a sun flare here. There's a dial where you can speed it up, you can reverse it, you can let it go nice and slow. See what happens. We can look at the transit of Venus as it crosses the sun. We can look at the moon transit. And most importantly, you can touch buttons, feel them, see it in real time, however you want to see it, however fast and however slow. Kids were having a great time
And
with
this is actual NASA footage of the sun.
This
correct?
is actually,
This is the real deal.
yeah, actual NASA satellite images of the sun.
So I can actually control a coronal mass eject. Wow, that is cool.
Isn't that cool?
It's really neat.
So these were created using special ultraviolet images from NASA's Solar Dynamic Observatory, which makes this very neat.
Wow, there goes my satellite dish. That is neat. And now this is the moon passing by the sun.
There we go. We're going to see that, that shadow cross.
That is incredible. And then I can do Venus, right?
Right.
This is Venus. Oh, I can see why kids would want to do this. That is incredible. Wow. I could look at this all day. So this is the entire year of 2014.
That's a solar yearbook. You can check out what the sun looked like for an entire year. Isn't it amazing how much it changes throughout the year?
But it's still really hot.
Still really hot.
Still really hot.
Right? Probably don't want to get any closer than you are.
Wow. That is so cool. You know, Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, but the first man on the sun, have you ever seen that?
No.
He's like this. My impersonation
There you
of
go.
the first guy on
Or
the
is
sun.
it more like a solar flare?
Yeah.
Right.
So I could play with this all day.
Right? Absolutely.
I
But we're going to bring you into the backyard.
Okay, let's go to the backyard.
Okay. So in this backyard, We've got a place where kids can play, and the idea is that they can camp. There's lanterns, we're blasting some tunes, there's some fun books about the moon. We've got a fireplace here that emits smell rather than sound. It's emitting different smells of the outdoors. As we look up, we're seeing a 24-hour time lapse where we can look at constellations, we can see different stars, we can watch how the sky changes throughout the day. Sky gnome, that's a legit thing, yeah. And really it's just fun.
For a lot of kids, and of course it's becoming more and more of a problem in the Wenatchee Valley as more and more people move here because they love it here, we're getting more and more light pollution. Now that's been addressed by a lot of the people who are in charge of that. Of course, the PUD has switched to LED lights, which are
our street lights.
Yeah, which are considerably better. But a lot of kids, the only time they ever get to really see the stars and the constellations and the Big Dipper and all that good stuff is you got to get away from the light pollution.
That's right.
It's right here.
That's
here.
right.
It's fantastic.
So even better, you can take a look at this telescope here. And you can see, you don't want to leave, I know you're having fun.
This was all taken in Arizona, correct?
This was, yeah, a photographer in Arizona shot this especially for this exhibit.
Wow.
So you can take, you were talking about looking at the stars through the night sky. This telescope uses Star Walk to simulate the night sky, and it's an actual simulation which is showing that the stars don't go away in the sky. The sky's just too bright for us to see them, exactly what you were talking about. This is a simulation, kind of real life, so you're able to look at what you're looking at in the west, what you're looking at to the north and the east, and what that would actually look like in the night sky.
This had to be calibrated exactly to where we are at longitude and latitude.
It sure did, yep. Yep, and some people have apps like that on their phone. This is really fun for kids to use this telescope and really have a good time. My own kids really enjoyed it.
Let's see what constellation we have where Megan's at.
All right, let's check it out.
Okay.
What do we have?
We have hooliganism. That constellation. That is really neat because I have that. We talked about this off camera. I have this app on my iPad.
Right?
And you go
yeah.
up in the
right? And you hold it up and you see.
It tells you exactly what you're
yes,
looking at.
I love
really
it.
Neat. But of course, it only works at night.
Right.
This works all the time.
All day.
Yeah.
Come and visit us.
That's fantastic. Now,
Good.
Why don't we go to the kids' bedroom next?
Let's go to kids' bedroom. Okay. All right, so this is a really fun space. We had kids that were taking books up there. They were snuggling and climbing on the bunk bed, which is lots of fun. In here, they were building star constellations. So we've got a black light here and some of these stretchy bands, which you can take and you can make your own constellations. My own kids were writing their names in these. My husband was building a 5-point correct star that he was really having fun with. But fun for all ages. We had adults and kids alike making creations in here.
Oh, I could do
You made
this.
a lovely kite. We'll name that the Dan kite.
The Dan kite.
Right?
There we go. Let me make it, now that you pointed that out, I'll make it a little bit.
See, you make it a little better, yeah.
Now I want to put the tail on
Oh,
it,
sure,
so I'm gonna
yeah.
do this to here.
Uh-huh. What else can we
And,
add here? Let's jump
see
in,
here.
give you some tail feathers.
There's another one there.
Good, I like it.
And there's a lot of these.
Right, there's a lot of these.
You could fill this whole thing
A
up.
lot of opportunity for fun here.
Wow. I could see why your husband would not want to leave this.
It was hard to drag him away.
And the black light is a nice touch.
It makes it really
Yeah.
fun, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
kind of a simple concept, but really fun. My daughter had a bunny shirt on and she was looking down and saying, Mom, look at the bunny, look at his whiskers. And so it was really neat to see kids create and explore in this space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every kid's going to want, you know what happened after.
Oh, they're
after
going
this,
to want them in their
yeah, they're gonna
bedroom.
Go, Mom, Dad, I want one of these in my
Hey,
bedroom.
yeah,
Which
that's
is
a great
fine.
idea. Okay, so over here, this is one of my favorite pieces. You can turn this crank, and little kids were having fun turning the crank and having a good time, but what I want to point out to you too is that this is what you would see out the window while the sun and the moon are going through these different phases. So you can take the moon all the way around the Earth, and if I take it all the way around, you can see how we get to a full moon.
So we have the sun, the
We have
earth,
the sun,
and the moon.
the Earth, and the moon.
And again, it's all calibrated because
Right.
I love how that works.
Right?
That's really neat.
So we're noticing how it waxes and wanes and changes over time. And as I bring it around, I'm going to go real fast here. Ready? As I bring it around, you can see how the moon is eclipsing now and causing that shadow, which is really fun. That's how we move through that phase of the moon.
That is neat.
Right?
That is neat.
And we have a little place just to chill.
We've got a great little reading space. My own little one wanted to grab some books and read to me and curl up and snuggle after she'd been climbing and playing. And so we snuggled here. We read some books all about space, all about the moon, all about stars and nocturnal animals, and had a really good time.
What we'll do is, the final segment, Kristin, is that we'll sit right here and we'll talk about everything you need to know about the My Sky exhibit. But there's one thing that we think is going to be the coolest part of all.
Yes.
And that's inside this thing. We've made our necessary camera adjustments, and we are now inside this geodesic
moon dome.
The moon dome. And by golly, it's our good friend from the evening sky, the moon.
So here's what we've got. We've got a 5-foot topographically accurate model of the moon. It's got the very same valleys, craters, mountains. Everything you can see with the naked eye is real here for you to touch and spin and see. What's really fun is we always see the same side of the moon.
Right.
So in this, you get an opportunity to see the other side of the moon, which is really neat. Kids were taking this, they were spinning it, they were running around it. I mean, they were just really enjoying this, and it's so much fun to see.
This thing is a behemoth. How many people did it take to put this thing on the pedestal?
It took 4 staff members unsuccessfully, so then we brought in 4 stronger volunteers, and we were a lot more successful. It took a team, right? Next step was going to be a mule. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is so cool.
It's so cool.
This is, I feel like Atlas.
Right?
Yeah.
But you just want to touch and feel, and I love it. I love it. My kids kept coming back and back and back to see this. It was really neat.
And of course, the first thing I asked Kristin when we came here is, where's the Sea of Tranquility? Where did we land on the moon back in '69? And it's here somewhere.
It's here somewhere.
Right.
Let's see, Dan. Is it over here? There we go.
It's this area right here.
Yeah.
Wow, I bet you NASA wish they had this in '69. Okay, now where are we going to land at?
Well, it looks like a good landing zone. Gosh, I bet they wish they did.
And I like the fact that they put it in something that's this dark.
It's dark. It's dark. And the way the light comes, the little bit of light you guys are seeing through the camera, the way that light comes in shows us actually kind of the phases of the moon. So it sort of imitates that. As we rotate, we're kind of able to see what that looks like as the moon really phases through the sky.
And I've always been curious if the moon's made of cheese. No, I'm not gonna do
I don't even want to talk about how many kids have probably licked that. So, you know, Dan, you might want to go ahead and start with your
I think I'll wash my hands
booster
of this segment. We still got a lot more to talk about. Why don't we step back outside the dome and we'll wrap it up with all the important things that people need to know about coming and seeing this
yes, we want to welcome people in.
Incredible exhibit. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Well, we've safely escaped the geodesic moon dome, and we've made it to our little nook here in the corner of the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. Once again, Dan Kuntz with Kristin. The My Sky exhibit opened, as we mentioned before, a couple of days ago. It's going to be open all the way through January, so you do have some time, but there's some special days, specifically Family Day on the 12th, which, courtesy of some really nice sponsors, is going to be absolutely free. And this is something that wasn't the case just a couple of days ago, Kristin.
It will. Even just yesterday, we talked to Wenatchee Pediatric Dentistry and Tutor Doctor, and they agreed to sponsor the My Sky Family Day. So that means it is free of cost to everyone, to families and adults and children and anyone that wants to come in and experience this. That is on October 12th. That's a Saturday. We're open from 10 to 3. So you're going to be able to come in, you're going to be able to see this exhibit and the full experience. We're also going to have it set up sort of science fair style. We've got our Earth and Space toolkit, so we're going to have really hands-on, interactive, fun stations for kids to visit and explore. We've also been able, thanks to a partnership with the Wenatchee River Institute, bring in the planetarium dome, and that's really neat. Kids will be able to go inside their adults, families, and really just take in what that night sky looks like and make up their own constellations and really just explore there, which is fun.
And you have a room big enough to put all this in, because this is a traveling exhibit.
Isn't it great?
And a lot of museums don't have this much square footage with super high ceilings to put all this stuff in.
It really was the perfect spot for it.
It is.
Yeah. On that Family Day, we've got one other really special thing. We have the Pacific Science Center coming out with their Science on Wheels Space Odyssey van. Wow. So we're going to have that mobile science fair out of Pacific Science Center too. So it's going to be really fun, something we won't want to miss.
And the idea, as Kristin mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, plant that seed in those kids, get them away from their smart device and their video games and whatever it is, and,
That's right.
and look at the world around us, because we're just a little sphere floating around out in the middle of nowhere. We
That's
all
right.
have to breathe the same air. We might as well get to know our planet and our solar system, because this is our home.
Right.
We're not going anywhere.
We're exploring, we're having fun, but more importantly, we're asking questions about the world around us, and that is really special. We're practicing like fundamental science and skills that scientists and engineers use every day. We're creating hypotheses, we're testing them, we're observing, we're experimenting. It's just really a lot of fun.
And I have a feeling after the kids and their parents come through here, whether it's Family Day on October 12th or any time between now and January, as long as the My Sky exhibit is open, they're going to be making trips to the public library. I want to check out books. I want
Right,
this
I sure
book. I
hope
want to
so.
check out this book.
Mom, tell me about space. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go find out about.
And you've got all kinds of cool books right here for the kids to take a look
We
at.
sure do. It was fun to see them curled up reading last night. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So, again, the Family Day is super duper free of charge. Thank you very much to the last second businesses who stepped up to make that happen.
Yes.
And it goes through January, the My Sky exhibit. It is the camera doesn't do it justice. I know Megan and I came through, we toured. You have to see it in person. You have to see it in
It's
person.
really fun. You got to get your hands right on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is just as fun for adults as it is for kids.
Good.
It really is. Kristin, thank you. Thank you for letting
Thank
us
you.
interrupt what would otherwise be a normal business day. Anything
Great.
else you want to mention while we have you here?
We're just so excited to welcome visitors in. Please
Yeah.
come explore, get hands-on with science, and have fun here at the museum.
And we'd love to talk about the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center. And one last little note, and it's funny that Kristin brought up the Pacific Science Center. That's one of the many areas and the many museums and centers that have the reciprocal arrangement
That's
with
right.
the Wenatchee Valley Museum
That's
and
right.
Cultural Center.
If you become a member here at the
Right.
museum, you can visit the Science Center. You can visit the Museum of Flight. I showed up a couple Saturdays ago with my kids at the Museum of Flight. There was a line all the way around the door, out the block, you know.
To pay admission?
Right?
All you did
We
was
went in
whip out
with our
your card.
Wenatchee Valley Museum card and bypassed the whole thing, right?
worth
Had
it
a really
right
good
there.
time. Absolutely worth it. Yeah, join us as a member. Help support us.
Come down and check out this exhibit. This is really cool. Again, the camera didn't do it justice, and I want to take the rest of the day off and just go play some more. So, on behalf of Kristin, I am Dan Kuntz. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Is search engine optimization right for my business? Maybe. Studies show the first and second search results get 50% of all the clicks. But you have to fight national chains to get there. If the user has to scroll down to find you, tough luck. You could hide a dead body on page 2 and the whole zombie apocalypse on page 3. Or you could spend less and get an ad in the Impact Big Print phone book, giving local businesses a chance to shine.
Impact Directories. Bigger print, better book.
About a minute to go before we send you down the road on this Monday. One more look at the weather forecast. Not a lot to talk about today, but boy, a lot to talk about tonight. Going to be very windy once we get into the evening hours. A very strong cold front's going to plow right through the region. And right behind that, a deep upper level trough is going to bring, well, cooler temperatures, cold wind chills. Look at the overnight low Tuesday. Look at the overnight low Wednesday. That's going to be right at the freezing mark, perhaps even below freezing mark. You combine in the wind with the cold temperatures, the wind chills are going to be way down there. So it's going to be cloudy today. Going to be windy this afternoon, very windy tonight. Gusts up near 37 or 38 miles an hour as the system comes through. Still some winds on Tuesday, and then Tuesday night and Wednesday we get cold and we stay well below normal for our afternoon highs. Once we get to Wednesday and all the way in through Saturday and into Sunday, it's been a chilly start to October, and here we are already the 7th. And provided the show isn't canceled, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, bye-bye.